This is Isambard King of Brunel's first project. It's the first tunnel under a river anywhere in the world. Today, it is the oldest tunnel in the London Underground. It opened in 1843 as a pedestrian tunnel. But you have to remember, the idea of walking under a river the size of the Thames is like walking on the moon. And on the first day, there are 50,000 visitors and the band of the Culture and Guards, a patriotic music. In its day, this was the world's most successful visitor attraction. What Brunel did here, he created a cage for the miners to work in. This is the worst job in the world. They are showered in sewage, but they only work 2-hour shifts. They collapse after 2 hours, and they're carried out, and they're replaced by men who are still breathing. That's pretty much what they do even today. This principle has simply been automated. Brunel had miners, whereas Crossrail had tunnel machines. Brunel had bricklayers. Precast in sections. This is the birthplace of the Tudor.
Looking east away from the city, you can see another impressive feat of British engineering. It's one of the largest movable flood barriers in the world and has been protecting London for more than 30 years.
The original design criteria was to protect against the 1 in 1,000 floods in the year 2030. So they used the data they had available and they projected that into the future and they built extra safety margins in, and it looks like we'll be okay till 2070. The barrier is composed of 10 gates, the largest of which are 3,300 tonnes, approximately a third of an Eiffel Tower's worth of metal in each one, and they rotate into position. The barrier protects against an area of land with about 1.25 million people. If you're walking along the south bank, if you can imagine another 3.5 metres of concrete obstructing your view, that's what the barrier protects against.
The Port of London has been a centre for trade since Roman times. By the 1800s, it was the busiest port in the world, and a series of huge enclosed docks were built, surrounded by high walls, to protect cargo from thieves and pirates. The docks stretch from Tower Bridge to City Airport, and the Museum of London Docklands is preserving the history of this crucial trading hub.
The building we're sitting in was built in 1802. When it was built, it was the biggest warehouse in the world. The Romans first settled on the Thames, and obviously the Vikings came after the Romans. And all throughout history, there's always been lots and lots of trade.
From time to time, it is necessary to stop the Emirates airline to allow guests to board or alight. We will resume your flight shortly.
And then you would have been cut down, and then you would have been put into the gibbet cage. And there was accounts of 45 bodies hanging quite along the foreshore. So as the shipping were coming in, that was like a deterrent. You had yourself, otherwise this is going to happen to you. Warehouses played a very important part in the war, because if you knock out the infrastructure and you can't start the nation out. Now you can imagine the ferocity of the bombing, and sometimes you had the sugar going up and catching light, and then at the very end of the buildings you had the rum going up and catching light, and it would actually make slag toffee. And all the children would be around the following morning scooping it up, taking it home. You can come to this area and you can walk around and you can see where all these things happen.
The East End docks have undergone major redevelopment in recent decades. Royal Victoria Dock is now home to Excel London, one of the largest exhibition centres in Europe. King George V Dock has become the grounds for City Airport. The Royal Albert Dock to the north of the airport is next for redevelopment.
Royal Albert Dock used to be the commercial centre for the British Empire. Beef used to come from Argentina, and it went on trade into London. This was the meat store when the meat first came off the ships. This is going to be an Asian business port. Companies from Asia will be able to set up their headquarters and trade into Europe. The city airport will allow business people to travel to European cities right here into Royal Albert Dock.
That's Canary Wharf. I didn't look, that's Canary Wharf and that's Durkin.
20,000 people employed in this area, and we'll be invigorating connecting this area with bringing
Shark
life
with
again,
it,
it
shark.
really is going to be very exciting.
Actually,
Down below,
oh,
the
shot,
river
shot,
Lee
shot.
flows into
Maঝখান দিয়ে
the
বেরোচ্ছে।
Thames into the bay. After rising nearly 40 miles of river,
Next to that is London
the
Eye.
Lee Valley has a rich history of engineering innovation, with more industrial achievements in small geographical size than anywhere else in the world.
Wembley Stadium. Somewhere
The
there.
history of this area, of course, has been about entrepreneurs and innovators. It was a group of entrepreneurs. who
I think
built
that's
the lower
London Eye.
docks. The lower
Wembley
Valley
Stadium
is
you
where
have
Next
to
to
use
the
some
London
magnifier.
electrical experiments. And just across the
You
way
can only see
is
the
where
window.
Brunel built the biggest ship in the world, the Great Eastern. And this place, of course, for 150 years, drove the economy of this country.
Olympic Stadium is that one.
Which stadium?
Post-industrial
Olympic
revolution, the
Stadium,
electronic
that one.
technological
That white
revolution,
one.
began
Next to that
in the
ring.
Lee Valley in
What ring?
1904 by a man called Professor Ambrose Fleming, and he invented a thing called the diode valve. All the electronic gizmos we have today can be traced back to this simple
Greenwich Food
device.
Tunnel.
The first jet airliner, the Comet, was built at Hatfield here in the Lee Valley.
Greenwich Food Tunnel, what's
Ferguson
that?
invented
Please,
the first
water games.
colour television. We had the Royal Small Arms factory there. The was produced there. It wasn't
Wait, what are
Bernard
these
Trent
guys?
that made India Pale Ale.
Oh, yeah,
India
yeah,
Pale
that's
Ale was invented in London's Lee Valley by George Hodgson. So we've got a lot to thank the Lee Valley for.
Next to the Emirates airline terminal is the Crystal, a building owned and operated by Siemens that was designed to be one of the greenest in the world. The Crystal
Hello
showcases
everyone,
sustainable
I'm
development
in
and contains the
cable
world's
car,
largest
Emirates
permanent
airline cable
exhibition of
car.
its
I'm in
kind.
Greenwich right now, and we can see the view from there.
Buildings in the world. It demonstrates innovative technologies to do with generating energy by solar and ground source heat pumps. Even the water of the toilets is being recycled.
Dock here.
This exhibition
जहाज
showcases
गुला
existing technologies and innovation and also stimulates discovery. It tries to make people
Dock
imagine
lines.
how
Well,
their
dock
city
lines.
might look by the middle of this century.
Thank you for flying the Emirates airline. Exit here for the EXO Exhibition Centre, the Crystal, Royal Victoria Docks and the DLR. Oyster, return and single ticket holders, please alight here and exit to the left.
Loving the view.
हमें तो रिटर्न ट्रिप ना
We need binoculars to see Wembley Stadium. It's sitting down. The picture is there. আরেকবার রিটার্ন করে যাবো